Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. In this video I'm going to show you what to do with this. I'm Anna, I help you grow beautiful and healthy plants, but obviously this Anthurium is definitely not looking healthy and is not happy at all. So let's see what are the reasons and what we can do with it. So of course, for any plant it's very natural that some leaves will get dry and fall off. So for example, here we had already a bunch of leaves that were older leaves and it's fine. Normally the plant grows new leaves and some older leaves get old, get dry, and that's totally fine. However, we can see here that we have a complete bunch of problems here and I want to address them step by step. So first of all, if you see that your plant is not doing well, don't think that, okay, my plant is dying. Because rule number one, you can always try to save your plant. But the most important thing here is that I want you to observe your plant, every single leaf, and to understand the causes of it. Because if you understand what caused this situation, you will also be able to fix it. So for example, if we just look at this, first we saw some old dry leaves like these ones that we removed, some fell off. Here we see still a dry stem. Here we see a yellow leaf. Here we see a little bit, I don't even know what to call this. It's kind of rotting. Yeah, not looking healthy at all. But the most important thing I want you to pay attention to is the new fresh leaves. So you can see that this is absolutely new leaf. It's even small, but it's already half rotten. So half of the leaf is gone and it will definitely continue to basically get dry. It's also like wet, kind of. Definitely there is a problem and I'm gonna tell you what is the problem with this plant in general. We're going to also talk about how you can save it. Also, I will need to, of course, repot it, and I'm gonna also do the propagation of this plant because it's a very beautiful, very dark brown flowering Anthurium, and I'm going to show you step by step in other videos how to repot, how to propagate. If you're not patient enough or you don't have time to look at it, to watch these other videos coming up, you can also look here. I have the soil that I'm going to repot this plant in, and if you want, you can also try that one. The link will be again in the video. But what I want to talk to you about, so here we have different problems. As you can see, the most important is that the new growth, which we see that it still grows, it grows new leaves. This is a very great indicator that our plant is still growing. The roots are not completely rotten, but definitely the yellow leaf, okay, we can say that this one is the bottom leaf, the older leaf, so it's normal for this leaf to get yellow, eventually get dry and fall off. That's fine. But if you see that the new growth has problems, the new growth should be healthy like this, heart-shaped leaves, brown when they are in the beginning growing. That's totally fine. Don't be surprised if you see that your Anthurium has green leaves and then the new growth is brown. That is totally fine. Eventually, they are also very thin, by the way, but eventually when they grow, they will turn green and they will be also very sturdy. If you have ever grown Anthurium, you can also touch them and see that their leaves are quite firm, quite thick. So these leaves will turn green very soon. There is no problem in it. However, we see that this leaf is definitely having a problem. This one is also having a problem. So this one doesn't really have dry tips, but the shape of it is not normal. This one is also, the edge, the tip is already getting brown. And by the way, the one next to it, or which one is this? Yes, this leaf is also absolutely dry already. The one that grew from here, this is actually a flower. Let me show you. This is a flower and you can see that maybe eventually we would even have seeds from here, but I'm not interested in seeds. That's totally fine. We can remove that as well. So what caused this? Number one, it can be cold temperature. So if you will see that a lot of new growth has this kind of deformed leaves, this can be cold temperatures, this can be thrips, this can be another insect. So definitely you need to look into the leaves from both sides, from the bottom and from here, and see if if you will find any spots of thrips. And thrips, I will also put on the screen how it can look like. It's very similar to this. Now I don't really have thrips here, but my problem here is overwatering. You can see maybe here that the soil is completely wet. And the reason here is that this plant was at the very top of my shelf where I couldn't really see the soil. And assuming that if it's okay for me to water it once a week, it should be fine. But when we have lower temperatures, when we don't have that much sunlight, the plant is not growing that fast in autumn, in winter. And watering by the same schedule, like approximately I was watering this plant in the summer once a week. Now I continue to water it once a week as well in autumn and in winter, and this was definitely too much for it. That's why you can see that the leaves are definitely showing the sign of overwatering. Again, if you see this kind of spots, this is very similar to thrips as well. So you need to be very careful. Let me show you close up. First, of course, look at the top of the leaf and then also at the bottom of the leaf. Sometimes you will see either the insect itself. It's sometimes very hard to notice it. Sometimes thrips can be, when it's very young, it can be transparent, white, kind of yellow. Then it, of course, the adult insects turn into brown and black insects, but still it's very hard to notice them on the leaves. They jump very well and you will not be able to see them until the damage is, well, a lot. If you notice black dots on the leaves, under the leaves, that's definitely the poop of the thrips, and it will mean that yes, your plant is affected by it. All right, yeah, this is another dry leaf, but look at this one. So this is overwatering. You see also the yellow line behind this brown one. This is definitely overwatering, and if the younger leaves are also not healthy, this is already a problem. Definitely you need to repot the plant as soon as possible, which I'm gonna do in the next video. But let me show you step number one. What you do if you have such a plant? Well, we need to remove all unhealthy parts. And I mean not only the roots, because some of the roots may be already rotten, but we need to clean up a little bit. So what we do, we cut all affected leaves, all rotten, brown, yellow leaves from the very bottom, meaning where they connect to the stem. Let's do it. Some you may pull and they will come off easily, but for some you will also need to just cut them, because by pulling you may damage the whole stem. Don't be afraid to remove also these younger leaves. The new growth will be absolutely fine because we're gonna repot it and we will basically give it more care and better conditions. I'm gonna remove this one as well, and this one. You can also remove older or like torn leaves like this, because you know it will grow new leaves, and even though you may want to preserve this, but this is not beautiful, that's number one, but also an older leaf. And as we're going to repot and propagate, I would get rid of all these older leaves to give it a fresh look, fresh start. So no need to keep it. And also this one, see, the leaf is gone already, but the stem is left. So we are going to cut this one as well. And also there are these sheaths that you can remove them as well. This is basically when the new leaves grow, they also have the sheaths that with the time they also get dry, and you can definitely remove them as well. Obviously this plant needs to be washed as well because it's quite dusty, and especially in winter when you don't have that much sunlight, cleaning your plants and keeping them in general very clean is very important, because they will get more light, they will get more humidity from the air, and will just survive the winter much better. By the way, as for the care in winter, I have a separate video if you would like to watch it. All right, this is it. Now I'm gonna take my plant to the shower, wash it, and not to make this video very long, I'm gonna record a new video, post it in a little bit, so that you can come back to this channel and watch it. We will be repotting this plant and also propagating. Stay patient about plants. I'll see you in the next one.